Disney Plus is at it again as a part of their Phase 4 Marvel miniseries releases. Falcon and the Winter Soldier follows Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes as they team up in adventures that put their already tense relationship to the test. Like WandaVision, it follows the continuity events of Avengers Endgame. You're listening to Utter Randomness. This is Lulu, your host, and we're doing a midnight binge. Six months has gone by since millions of people returned from the blip. We see both Sam and Bucky in very different parts of their lives. Sam is helping the United States Air Force with covert operations. He has made the ultimate decision to donate Steve Rogers' shield to the Smithsonian. Meanwhile, Bucky has been pardoned of his crimes with the condition of going to therapy. Bucky is also grappling with his time at Hydra as the brainwashed soldier in Captain America: Winter Soldier. However, as previously stated, Sam and Bucky are in very different parts of their life, but the similarities they share is fitting in post-blip and dealing with the trauma following the events of Endgame. Sam and Bucky are also realizing that their lives and future are anything but normal. The rise and fall of Captain America and Battlestar. Remember Cap's shield, the one Sam ended up donating to the Smithsonian in efforts to preserve Steve Rogers and Captain America's legacy? Yeah. Well, the U.S. government had alternate plans and appointed a new Captain America with Steve Rogers' shield. John Walker, the new Captain America, was a former captain with the 75th Rangers Regiment and is a highly decorated soldier. Along with his best friend and fellow soldier, Lamar Hoskins, they became Captain America and Battlestar. Walker had some very huge, imposing shoes to fill when stepping into the role of Captain America. He worked hard to be seen as the Cap, but fell short in many areas. Basically, John Walker was everything the government wanted Steve Rogers to be, but wasn't. A pawn to control. Also, Sam and Bucky don't like him, and I don't blame him. I didn't like him when I first saw him. A lot happened during Walker's time as Captain America, including the death of his partner, Battlestar. Walker is obviously upset about this, and he chooses to exact revenge. He ends up following after a flag smasher, which we'll get more into later, and publicly kills him. This prompts the government to strip Walker of his Captain America status, as well as discharges him from the military. Flag Smashers and the GRC. The Flag Smashers is led by Carly Morgenthau, and they actually are super soldiers like Bucky and Steve after stealing about 20 super soldier serums. Try saying that 5 times fast. The Flag Smashers are labeled as an anti-nationalist group with radical ideas. While they want to revert the world the way it was during the blip, it isn't to kill everyone or anything. Instead, it's so people can survive. Instead of being refugees and being deported to their home countries by the GRC, all they want to do is survive in the place that they are, like they were before the, post-blip. The Global Repatriation Council, or the GRC, is an international council whose main job is to manage resources for refugees displaced by the blip. They're supposed to reactivate things such as Social Security, healthcare, citizenship, and even reinstating borders within a country. Mounting tensions between the GRC and the refugees created the Flag Smashers. As these tensions grew, the GRC planned on deporting refugees to their home countries through the legislation called the Patch Act. Obviously, the Flag Smashers, along with some of the refugees, don't want this act to be passed. This resulted in tensions coming to a head. Flag Smashers leader Carly accidentally kills Lamar Hoskins, and during this, Captain America was able to convince the GRC to not pass the legislation. The rise of the U.S. agent. With the death of his partner and friend, John Walker, he was effectively stripped of title and rank, as well as kicked out of the military. Walker ended up making his own version of the Captain American shield after it was taken away by Sam and Bucky. Angered by the turn of events, fueled by vengeance, and armed with his shield, which is made from his medals that were given to him during his time in the military, he sets out to track Carly and the Flag Smashers. Walker is unable to beat the super soldiers and is saved by Bucky. Bucky, John, and Sam are able to convince the GRC members, are able to save, not convince, are able to save the GRC members and take down Carly. With his vengeance completed, he respectfully leaves Sam and Bucky behind and meets with Valentina Allegra de Fontaine. She gives him a new suit, thus becoming the U.S. agent. Helmut Zemo and Sharon Carter. Falcon and the Winter Soldier didn't just see the return of Sam Wilson and Bucky Barnes, but also former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Sharon Carter and Helmut Zemo. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Carter is now a criminal and working in Madripoor after the events of the Avengers Civil War movie. While Zemo has been jailed, he was broken out by Bucky. Bucky, what are you thinking? And both Carter and Zemo are recruited to find more super soldier serum and destroy it. That seems to be their ultimate goal. Both of these characters pick up new identities and power positions for themselves, similar to the way Bucky and Sam. Helmut becomes Baron Zemo, and Carter becomes the power broker. A new Captain America. After John Walker lost his title and rank as Captain America, the government scrambled to appoint someone new. Sam Wilson, once the Falcon, feels comfortable enough now to accept the mantle as Captain America as he rightfully should have in the beginning. Last thoughts and conclusion. Like WandaVision, the events for Falcon and the Winter Soldier are leading up to movies. WandaVision is a lead up to Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a lead up to a new Captain America movie with Anthony Mackie's Captain America as lead. While the movies is being kept so under wrapped, like you can't get anything. There's no rumors, there's no morsels or anything. There are just piles of rumors circulating, such as a forgotten MCU villain, Emil Blonsky, from the I try to put Hulk and Incredible together. Incredible Hulk movies might be making a comeback. I loved WandaVision for its characters, and Falcon and the Winter Soldier did not fail to impress with its characters, stories, and lead-ups to a new movie. It respects its foundation, but builds and expands on one's secondary characters. For example, Wanda, Vision, Bucky, Sam, and more. Giving them solid stories, refining backstories, and giving them the spotlight they deserve. I actually look forward now to Loki, seeing what they have done with WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm so looking forward to Loki, which is the next miniseries coming out with Disney+. I rate Falcon and the Winter Soldier 4.1 out of 5. It's character-driven, it's funny, it's witty, heartbreaking, and just absolutely jaw-dropping. A lot of my issues are small and just inconsequential to the overall concept and just the story of the show. It really is beautiful. It's just funny, it's witty. I recommend it. It's Disney Plus is doing everything right, taking these secondary characters and giving them something for themselves while being respectful to the foundations that were made for them in the movies. Marvel Universe is so well thought out, well planned. Obviously, some people don't like some of the things, like, for example, Wanda has so many different origin stories, and they seem to have picked one for her Scarlet Witch. And I loved that Sam and Bucky have, like, the relationship they have in Winter Soldier and Civil War has followed through for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Like, you have a lot of callbacks with witty one-liners, like, can you move your chair? No. Like, that made me laugh so bad because it had a callback to that, and it was just vice versa. The roles reversed. And then Helmut Zemo he surprised me. Like, I follow the actor, which I cannot pronounce his name, nor do I remember his name at the time. I followed his actor before in some of the things. He was an Alienist. He's done so many things, and I almost didn't recognize him because in Alienist he actually has a full beard. But I've watched a lot of his work, and he surprised me in this role as this. Like, he's so two-faced, but as well, he seems to care for what he's doing. Obviously, he has alternative motives and alternative ideals and alternative plans for things like such as that, and obviously for why he did what he did in Civil War and Winter Soldier with Bucky. But he really surprised me. I also want to see where Sharon Carter's character go, if she's actually, like, they say that she's power broker, and I want to see how that goes, because she had a large role, don't get me wrong, in Winter Soldier and a bit in Civil War, but I would love to see what more with the character that they're doing with, because the actress that's playing her is marvelous. I watch her in The Resident as well, and I think she's doing a really good job with the character. As much as, like, all these secondary characters always, like, I knew Anthony Mackie and oh no, I forgot, Sebastian Stan. Oh my goodness. For Bucky and Sam, they're wonderful actors. I've seen their work before, and I know that they're solid actors. But like Helmut Zemo and Sharon Carter, they're also solid actors in their own right, but their characters were so small in the movies, like so much smaller than Sam and Bucky's, that I wasn't sure where the Marvel Universe was going to take them. But I am pleasantly surprised with how they did shape these characters, and I look forward to seeing them again in further works and further productions and further movies and TV shows. I don't know if any of these seasons, they're classifying them as miniseries, so I don't know if any of these are going to actually get second seasons, like WandaVision, Loki. Well, I don't know how well Loki's going to do yet. It comes out. It has probably, when this airs, it has already been out, but WandaVision and Falcon and the Winter Soldier have crazy ratings, and I look forward to, maybe there will be a second season. Like, I really do hope that there is, but I know that Marvel Universe has so much planned down the road that half the stuff isn't even released. This is only phase 4, quote unquote. So I don't know how many phases that they're going with for these, if these mini-series are just meant to be lead-ups to movies in the future. Like, they're setting the foundation, they're setting the characters, they're setting everything up for the movies that are down the road. If that's the main idea behind these miniseries, and like I said, they classify these as miniseries, and when you think miniseries are usually only one season, they're only like 8 to 12 episodes, and they're only one season. But I do look forward to what is down the road for all of these characters. Like I said, they're doing a fantastic job with them, I think, in my opinion. I want to know your thoughts. Did you like Falcon and the Winter Soldier? Did you like WandaVision? Are you enjoying Loki? Because like I said, when this airs, it should be already out. And if not, why? Like, what are your issues with the shows, and if there are issues with the characters? What are your thoughts and ideas, or even your issues if you have them with the shows? Is it because you think they didn't respect the original material to these characters, i.e. the comic books that are for Falcon and Winter Soldier and stuff like that? I love that they dropped a White Wolf reference, which is awesome. But or do you have other ideas? What are your thoughts for the future that these shows are making for the future projects that are coming down the line for Disney Plus? I think that's it. So please consider supporting this podcast. And until next time, cheers.